As I've already said, Mr. Speaker, our gun laws will change. Cabinet met yesterday and made in principle decisions 72 hours after the attack. Before we meet again next Monday, these decisions will be announced.
The Prime Minister is expected to return to Christchurch on Wednesday to meet victims, families and first responders, some of whom obviously are still struggling. And today, Brenton Tarrant's former lawyer says despite obvious questions about his mental state, Tarrant appears to be of sound mind, at least legally speaking.
He was lucid and he seemed to appreciate what he was facing and why he was there.
Meanwhile, the memorials for his victims continue here in New Zealand and around the world, from Hong Kong to Pakistan, from Turkey to Russia to Australia. Of course, it's going to take time for the people affected to process all of this, the grief, the powerlessness, the anger, of course. And remember, people just didn't lose their loved ones. Many families lost their breadwinners. And even though the government has said that it will do its best to financially support them, as Briar Stewart reports, that doesn't make it hurt any less, and it certainly doesn't bring them back.
It's a grim and unprecedented operation for the city of Christchurch. Dozens of grave plots dug side by side for a ceremony that's planned for later in the week.
Once the burial is done, there will be a lot of relief.
Latifa Lobby is the imam from the Linwood Mosque, the second site to be attacked, and today still a crime scene. He will be at the burial, but is far too traumatized to lead the service.
If you see my eyes, I couldn't have enough sleep till now. I sleep and wake up. It's my first time in my life to see such thing. First time.
For paramedics who are used to responding to traumatic situations, what they found when they arrived at the mosques was incomparable and terrifying.
There was a river of blood coming out of the mosque. And that's a scene that you don't forget. It was literally flowing off terracotta tiles.
In all, 50 died. Among those gunned down, Junaid Ismail, a father of 3 and Zahed's twin brother.
I still wish to have Junaid back to us so we can bury him, and that has not had any further advancements at all.
He's frustrated because he thinks it's taking too long for the coroner to return his brother's body. Junaid ran this convenience store and Zahed is trying to keep it running. Outside, tributes line the sidewalk.
I spent most of the day yesterday down here and just seeing people come in all day and just instantly come in and give hugs.
Customers and friends who all knew Junaid have also been pitching in.
When I came down first, I helped them kind of rearrange some of the flowers and could just feel the tears for the first time kind of welling in my eyes. And it made it so much more, real that what had actually happened.
The attack, which targeted one religious group, has become a tragedy that's touched everyone. Leaders across different faiths and cultures, including the Maori, have come together to try and bless the mosques, places of worship that have become the sites of so much heartbreak.
Okay, so Briar, this police investigation continues, but also we're learning how quickly the government is acting on gun control, really quickly. What are some of the changes that?
Well, the Prime Minister announced that Cabinet has agreed to reforms, and she didn't release the exact details. Those are going to come later on Monday. But it's almost certainly going to include some kind of ban on semi-automatic weapons. And New Zealand already has a system in place where people need to get a background check. There needs to be reference checks, for instance. However, there is no registry. And that's one of the issues because it's hard to keep statistics on the number of guns out there when people don't have to register them. So that's something that could happen. And I should mention, too, that the government is launching an inquiry looking at what police, customs officials, security services knew about the accused shooter. And they're looking for any red flags that they might have missed along the way.
Fair enough, Briar. Thanks very much.
You're welcome.
We don't yet know the names of all 50 people who died, but we are getting small glimpses of the lives lost, and we want to take a look at a few of them, like Dr. Haroon Mahmood, an economics teacher at Canterbury College in Christchurch. He leaves behind a wife and 2 children. Khalid Mustafa came to New Zealand with his family last year from Syria to escape violence exactly like this. He died along with one of his teenage sons at the Al Noor Mosque. Another son is recovering from a gunshot wound. And Ata Alayan was a popular member of the local tech industry and a goalkeeper for New Zealand's indoor national soccer team. Alayan is survived by his wife and daughter.